Well, thank you very much. I want to right away pay compliments to Len and Joe and Linda and Sally and all the people who have put this together. This is a marvelous venue and a marvelous thing. What you're going to see, I guess, next is about 17.2 minutes that took about a year and a half to put in the can. And we had a great time doing it. It's a little bit of a black topic. We've actually been disqualified from one film festival, and I'll tell you why later, or we didn't make it in because they said it was too incredible to be true. While we were in post-production, there were a couple of incidents reported on international news that said maybe this is not so far out. Enjoy it. We've got, all I can say is have a good time with it. Let it get into your mind and see what we're trying to do with it. Thank you and enjoy the film.
And I'm representing this next film. Unfortunately, the writer/director cannot be here, but I know he's really proud of this film. And so am I. I'm so glad to be a part of it. And this topic really, Dr. Bob Pondello, the director and writer, really felt that this was it was a civil rights issue of our time. And this movie, Miracles in Honeybee Hill, is about love, tolerance, and acceptance. Yes, it's a fairy tale.
How long did it take to put the film together?
2 years.
2 years. So Lucy, you were 9 when this began?
She just turned 9. I think the callback was on her 9th birthday.
Wow, super job. And did you do children's theater or anything prior to that?
Yes, yes.
She's done community theater since she's about 6.
Okay, that's great. Super job.
Thank you.
The special effects probably took the longest. All of the rendering, the 3D effect at the beginning with the bumblebee. I know they worked really hard on that. A lot of the scenes that Paige and Lucy shot were on green and blue screens, and so all of the rendering is just a very, very lengthy process on a tiny budget.
Hey Brad, on the Debt to Society, where did that story idea come from? And how did that, what was the time span of that movie coming together?
Debt to Society was a short story that won an award about 15, now 18 years ago. There was a call for scripts for students to produce out of Santa Fe Community College. We shipped a copy of the script out. Vanya Hopkins, who has since passed on, Czechoslovakian director and staff out there, loved Debt to Society and said we need to produce it. So it went for script breakdown and costing, budgeting, to class. And they did it. And Kelly Farr, who's credited on screen, it was her class that did the original costing. The fact that they were off by a factor of 6 means nothing. We used about 16 student interns on the film. And we had a lot of fun on set. Valerie Moore, our producer, was quite taken with the idea of letting everybody know everything. And I was bragging earlier to JD here. We got 5.5 minutes of film for every day on set and stayed inside SAG requirements. That's hot for a small film. Usually you can expect 3 minutes of screen time for each day of shooting. So, any other questions about it? Yes?
You said that an incident occurred that made it a more credible premise plot?
While we were in post, very briefly, we went into post-production on this thing. And let me tell you the basis of that first. After it was all done, of course, we sent it to my hometown that has their own film festival. And they turned us down cold. And I had a couple of friends that were in the circle and I said, what happened? And the person who screened the film said that this is not a credible premise and panned it. And I said, why? mistake that happened in there. Now, to answer your question directly, while we were in post-production, 2 stories hit the international wire. There were bodies found in the Ethiopian desert missing corneas and kidneys, which can only be harvested from living persons. And there were 2 doctors in Brazil convicted of illegal organ harvesting. Now, it sounds pretty macabre unless you think of it from the other side, which is to say, I have $100 million. What I don't have is a liver. What am I willing to do to keep my life? It's a question I think everybody should be aware of. That we showed it from a single family point of view, just to make the story a little more credible. The other thing that we were looking at, and I think we got another question here, I'll make this quick, is what happens when the now 85% privatized penal system climbs into bed with the medical establishment. Everybody in the film, all of the characters in the film, we're profiting from this in some way, and a whole lot of the B, C, D, E, and F stories in there are about how they're dealing with it. The old doctor is the apologist for the system. The young doctor just realizes how profound the system that he's just signed up for. There was a question up here.
Well, I had a comment for Honeybee Hill. I have to tell you, I'm one of the judges, and we got to view this, and it was a bombshell for me. I'm a member of a church that's going through this kind of situation right now. I mean, not so much. We have a couple there that are generally accepted, and one of those ladies, she helps out with the youth. It's supposed to be a paid position, but she can't get paid because of her situation. But nobody else wants to do that job. And my dad, when he got to view this film, he got to talk to his pastor, and there are people at our church that don't want to talk about this. You've got a bombshell here, and so my hat's off to you and the cast and the director. I mean, it's a very profound film, and I know about 10, a bunch of other friends that I got to buy a copy for this to show. I just think that it was a very incredible experience.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
It's touched a lot of nerves, I can say. We screened it before the actual premiere. Dr. Pondell is a professor at Middle Tennessee State University, and we screened it, and some students came. It was part of a coming out week at MTSU, and some of his students came, and an anonymous student complained to Congressman, and so there was quite a bit of stir that went about as far as Bob had to answer a bunch of questions about funding, and that it was not, student funds were not used in the making of the film, and the parents were questioned as far as, did we feel our children had been, misled, used, like we didn't know what we were getting them into, and so it's touched a lot of nerves, and they've partnered with the Tennessee Equality Project, and they're offering to screen it at churches and organizations, and Lucy's got some cards that she can hand out. There's a website, and you can read all about it. It's been quite a ride, but we're very proud of it. It's a beautiful story, and that's what Dr. Pondello said. He wanted to make it. It's a love story, and the proposal that Ed gives to Millie, Dr. Pondello says, was his proposal to his wife. He says, I'm a straight white guy, and but I know what it feels like to be in love, and nobody should be able to say that you can't do that. So that was his proposal, and it's unisex, he says. It's just about the love story. So he's very passionate about it. It's been a great experience.
The word that came to my mind was daring. And my congratulations to the producer and the director, and a wonderful production job.
Thank you. We'll pass it on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This thing's going to have a life of its own legs you wouldn't believe. You have questions, sir? No?
Just wanted to affirm your story, because if you look at Human Rights Watch and some of the other human rights organizations, it's been established that in China, there's mobile labs that go and take out organs from political prisoners. That's been well established for about at least 10 years. So that Santa Fe would say that it doesn't happen is a bizarre statement, because I do human rights work, and it's like really well established that people are doing that all over the planet. But China is in particular, they have vans that are equipped to go out, and then they test all the political prisoners, and when somebody has enough money, they just take out whatever they need, and the people are still alive. Like, it's really common knowledge.
There are none so blind as those who do not wish to see.
Right.
And we as a species, as we globalize, as we become instantly able to communicate and to, what's the word I want, to trade, we are going to be faced with ethical challenges, the likes of which past generations have never seen. If you think germ warfare, or not germ warfare, but chemical warfare, the trenches of World War I was bizarre and a hard ethical question to answer, wait until you see what's waiting in the next 50 and 100 years.
There's actually transcripts online that you can get that talk about Chinese doctors who were doing it, repented, and there's like really detailed transcripts. So you guys, I mean, it would be good to check out. It's easily accessible information that's documented by reputable human rights organizations. It's extremely common procedure these days that they're harvesting live organs from people.
That's one of the fundamental problems, if I may, about the film, is to say this to an audience, is to knock them off their bubble. To say this is true about our species, and becoming more true takes us out of our comfort zone. We're not a part of that. Well, we are. Okay. That's kind of the thing. And of course, we wanted to tell a good story. I love the family. Little Jagger Shkulnik, the little girl who acted in there. You're going to see a lot more of her. She's done 2 features since Death to Society. And she is push button to direct. Directors love her. Renee is about to release his CD with the music from this film and I think 12 or 13 other cuts. That's why he couldn't be here today. He says, I'm in post on this. It's got to be pushed out the door before the end of the month. Any other questions about Death to Society or Bumblebee? Okay, well, excuse me. We got 2. Okay. Oh, you're dark up there. I have a lady over here first, and then I'll know. Oh, okay. I'll repeat the questions. I should have known that. Go ahead.
We would just like to know what Lucy's future plans are.
Lucy's future plans? She's going to have to answer that for you.
My future plans are just to keep doing what I'm doing, keep auditioning, keep theater or film. I'll do either one. I just love to act, and I hope that's where I end up.
And did we have a question up there? All right. Sorry, terribly sorry about that.
Sit closer.
Sit closer, man.
We had a question up here.
Just a couple minutes. I wanted to say thank you for daring to make such a beautiful film with a hot topic right now. It's a good word and a good piece. The topic will be a different one. The good word and will get to go will be a different one. But it's true, this is the topic right now. It was very beautifully made. So thank you. Thank you so much.